Hi guys, Chris Rowlands here for Aullwood Audubon, and today for Art and Nature we're going to draw turkey vultures, one of my favorite birds. So grab your pencils, your crayons, your color pencils, and let's get started. We're going to have a great time. We're going to be drawing a turkey vulture today, and all we're going to need are our pencils. I've got crayons and my erasers, pencil sharpener, some color pencils. I have my brush to brush away any of my pencil eraser marks, and we're going to be using baby oil to smear our crayons. It's going to be really cool. I'll show you that later on. It's just regular baby oil, and grab yourself a couple Q-tips. So with this we're going to create a really fun piece, and we're going to start with our turkey vulture. We'll start with a couple nice big googly eyes up here. We always like the googly eyes. So I'm going to put a big eye right around here. And so it's almost a whole circle on this side. And now I'm going to make the lines for where the beak is going to be. So I've got those, and I'm going to have him looking over at us on this side, right here. He's going to be looking at us. And I'll put up his, just some nice little lines around his eyes. Just gives it a little more of that 3D look. And we're going to connect his beak right here. So we're getting a nice start to the beak, and we're sort of looping those down. It gives it a little texture to the beak, and we're going to go down right here, and I'm going to curve. And I want to make sure that I have a nice smiley face on him, because he's going to be my happy vulture. As always, he's like Bernard. So I'm going to have his smile come here. I want to make sure I've got those where I want them. And you can do a straight line. I like to do just little different lines. Sort of makes it a little more organic, a little natural. And here we go. Now right here we've got his little nostril. Oop, I made that a little too early. This is where that wonderful eraser, that little smidge working, comes in. I'm going to bring it down a little lower. Right about here. That's about right. Got that wonderful nasal cavity. Like we said, turkey vultures are one of the only birds that really can smell things. Most birds, well, you don't smell much. And this goes all the way through over on that side. We'll just shade that in a little bit. And his other side coming through. There we are. So he's looking pretty good here. Got to put that couple little lines here, a couple little lines for some feathery stuff sticking out. Let's give him his nice bald head. I'm going to bring this back around here. All right. Make that neck. Now I'm caricaturing them quite a bit, obviously. They don't have this big a neck when you look at a vulture that's out there. But sometimes it's nice to put those caricatures in, which is what we've done. And we're going to give him a little belly. Right here. Right about there. And bring that down just a little bit more. Oh, don't want to smear my pencil lead. And right through here, we can make his wing come down. And we're going to put his feet in. Then erase a little more right there. Draw your stuff light. I'm drawing it dark so you can see it easier, but always draw your stuff light so you can see it better. And I'm going to move this up a little bit so I can draw in his feet. And here again, I'm going to caricature them a little bit. I'll have him sitting on a branch, just sort of chillaxing, waiting for that next meal. That looks good, right about there. I like that. And I'm going to curve it because we're going to want that nice and curved to show. And we're going to put some little loops, because if you look at the toes of a bird, they have these little bumps and grooves in them, and we want to put those in. There we go, and we'll put his branch right here. Have it curling around that. So I'm just sort of making some squiggly lines just to give us the idea that those are those toes. And then we'll put this side on. I'm going to put that big toe right here. I like having that big one sticking up. Right there. That'll be great. This is all pretty loose drawing. I'm just having fun with it. Take that line out there. Just want to have some fun. And we'll put in that last toe right here. Last one coming through. This, I'm going to make it just a little wider. Use my little brush. There we go. And even curve that one that way. And I'll make a little branch coming down here. There we are. Put that wing in. Let that wing curl around here. Just, like I said, making a little bit of a caricature. I'm going to put in some lines of some of the feathering that'll be coming in. And I want to take this, I'm going to erase that out because I want these feathers going in this direction. I want to keep it cartoony but keep it realistic as well. And we'll put some colors. If you look at vultures, have really beautiful coloring to their wings. There's a little bit of brown in it, and there's some iridescent, some green if you get them in just the right light. They really have some blue. There's some blues. Vultures have really beautiful wing patterns actually. And we'll put the little shading back here, so we'll have his wing come down here. Finish his wing up right there, and his other wing right here, and we'll put in a little bit of the tail right about there. Well, looks about right. Now I'm going to put in just a couple leaves so we know that. I'll put some green in just for fun. And I'll put this leaf right here. There we go. That'll just give us a little bit of that dimension as well. Alright, let's put in one more branch right over here, just to sort of balance. We've got everything right here, so I want to balance out our picture. I want to put a little bit right here. We just make sort of a fun crookedy branch. There again, this one's a real cartoony branch, not so much like the branches you might see, but we're making this one in sort of a cartoony fashion. Put a couple of these leaves in. And you know what? Let's have the branch come out a little bit more right here. Make sure my branch is about the same. That looks pretty good. Maybe I'll make one more leaf coming right here. There we go. And we'll just put a few leaves right back here. A couple leaves just to show us He's up in that tree. And we can put a few right up here. We could put a couple turkey vultures flying. They always have that V shape, and they have a little head. When they're flying, they actually have this little head, and so I'm going to put one right here flying. Those big wings, they can soar for hours riding those thermals. One right there. A couple of them coming this way maybe. There we go. So I think we have a nice picture here. Maybe I'll make pointing one here. Make another vulture right here. Little head and that big wing. Flying out. There we go. Looks pretty good. I like that. There's that body and that wing pattern. Okay. Even put a couple of them over here. Just putting little V's. And don't put them all the same size. You want some really big. You can even put a little bit of head on one. A little bit of a body, just like that. Just to give the idea that that's a bird. All right, I think we're ready. So I'm gonna brush that out a little bit, and I'm gonna put around him. I'm gonna put some. Use my black crayon or pencil, Crayola pencil. Actually, this is my Prismacolor pencil. I'm just going to go over some of those lines that I really want you to see. Make sure those lines stick out really well. His eyes. Just going to go over them and wait till you see. This is so much fun once we move the stuff in. We'll go back over some of those others later. Now we're going to take our crayon and I'm going to put a little color in him. So we're just going to put a little bit of yellow just for fun. A little brightness. I want to put some bright color in. And then we're going to put a little bit of yellow up through the top here. Sort of squiggling in all directions. And I'm actually going to make this neck sort of do some of the looping like we did. There we go. I like that. Now, take a little bit of an orange I'm going to build up some of these colors. Just a little bit here and there, and this orange is a little bright. I'm going to get a duller orange. And I also want a bit of a pink. And so, I'm dropping my crayon. Sort of a light pink color. So I'm going to put these pink colors in first. And I want to go sort of the direction of the beak. Zigzagging. A little bit here, a little bit there. I'm curving in the direction of the beak now. Now that I'm getting darker, I want these to go in the lines of the neck and the beak. And up here I can just zigzag it in all directions. Now I can use a little darker pink underneath here, and I'm gonna, and you see how I'm curling it? I'm taking my lines, my pencil or my crayon lines, and I'm curling it over this way. And when I curl it that way, that gives us sort of a rounded feel. Do you see how it rounds out your beak? So I want to do that, and I'm going to put a little bit down here. I want this beak to have the impression that it's round. Put some dark crayon in there. Blend that in with my black crayon a little bit. So I want it to look like it's getting round. Same thing down to the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing. See how I'm curling it? I'm going up, 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 up. It's almost like I'm making little J's. And that's going to curl around. And that gives his beak that roundish look. And now we're going to put a little bit of red in there as well. Same thing, we curl it in. And I want to get all my colors in before I start really blending. I'm going to make this a little darker down at the bottom. Put some around the eye. And a little darker down here. I want to create that shadow, that shade, so it's going to be darker underneath because I'm going to have the sun coming from this direction right here. So I want this a little darker. There we go, and I can do that down here as well. And we can also do it on some of these lines, give the impression that that's three-dimensional. A little lighter underneath here because that's where the highlights are going to be. And I can put some here. There we go. Back here. A little darker because remember that light's going to come from here shining down on him. And just have fun. The big thing with this is just experimenting. This is a new thing. I've never really worked in crayon much before doing art pieces. And I saw this and I thought, oh, let's give it a shot. And we did a couple days ago, I was painting, I did one outside, a plein air painting with the crayon, which was really fun. I'm going to put a little bit more of this color down in here. A little more of that pinkish color. Maybe a little more up here too. A little more up in the head. Now I'm using a watercolor paper. You can do this with regular paper, but if you do, just make sure you put a couple sheets underneath, because when we rub the baby oil in it, it could sort of bleed through the paper into the bottom part below. So, and we're going to try that now. I'm going to bring in my baby oil, and I'm just going to take a little bit, just a little bit, you don't want a lot of baby oil on your Q-tip, and we're going to sort of blend it together. I'm just going to blend it in together just like this. I'm just rubbing it in. Rubbing that crayon in with it. And you can see it almost gives you a watercolory look. And if you want, you can put some more crayon in, which we do. We want this a little darker down here. You got to press a little harder. Get that crayon in there. Maybe a little bit down here below. And it seems like it works better if you put the dark in first and then rub it. It looks like once you put the baby oil on, it's harder to get the crayon in. You can, but you got to really press it. So try to get as much of your color on as you can at first. Let's throw in another color. Let's throw a little maroon in. That looks pretty nice. So I'm going to put a little of this in. And you can take a paper towel. You can also take that paper towel and you can rub a little bit of your crayon out if you get too much of a color in. I'm going to bring in some more of this maroon though. I really like that maroon in there. You can see how it sort of blends it in. And it's really fun. Bring some maroon down in here, right around the eye. We're going to want those eyes to stick out, and we're going to put a little blue and a little white in those later. But put those in. There, a couple lines here and there. You can do a couple lines because we've got those lines of how the beak sort of is bumpy. Bumpy and lumpy beak. Bring them over this way. And we can blend those colors in. That looks pretty good. Now let's take our Q-tip and you can smear. You might need a little more. Put some in and maybe not go over it as hard. Now get this around the eye. And I'm just, like I said, just smearing it in. And if it dries out, just get a little more oil on it. And then you can just rub it in. If you're using the oils, be careful, don't get them on your clothes. You don't want to get your clothes all oily, but like I said, all this is baby oil. And I'm just lightly pushing. Sometimes you might want to just lightly do it if you want to keep the color there, or if you want to take a little of the color out, you can push down a little harder. And that'll clean that out. Oh, that's pretty nice. Maybe put a little bit more of that maroon back in here. Let's put some more of that maroon back in there. And you can let this dry, and then you could put other colors on top too once those baby oil colors, or once that baby oil sort of absorbs into your paper. I forgot right up here around the top. There we go. Well, it looks pretty good. Put a little bit more right around his neck. I want to make sure this is nice and dark right back here, because this is where the feathers are going to meet up. So I want to really make sure this area is sort of dark, giving us that shadow. And you can go back over it with colored pencil. The reason I like the Prismacolors is because Prismacolor is a wax-based pencil, as well as these crayons. Crayons are wax-based, so the Prismacolor pencil, and really most of, if you get Crayola pencils as well, those are going to work out just fantastic as well because they're wax-based. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in, just a little of my baby oil. Sort of blend that in. Boy, it's really given us a nice watercolory look. It's amazing the things you can do with crayons and some materials that we don't always think about. There we are. That looks pretty good. I'm going to brush some of that away. Alright. I'll actually use okay, so we've got the head, and we're going to put a little bit in the eye. And what we're going to do here with the eyes, the first thing we're going to do is go over most of the eye in white. And you really can't see that much because it's just white crayon, but stay with me, there's a reason we're doing the white first. Then I want to take a light blue, I like that one. We're going to take a light blue, and we're just going to put a little light blue in the eyes. You see how I'm putting just a little bit underneath here? And remember, the light's coming from this direction, so the shadow is going to be over here. We're going to do the same thing on this side, a little shadow. This will just make your eyes look a little more three-dimensional. And then we're going to smear that in with the Q-tip. There we go. Now, don't use the red side of the Q-tip on it because it'll smear red into your eye, and you want to keep the eye sort of light, the white and blue. So I'm going to use the other side of my Q-tip, and I'll smear that in. Make sure you don't get into the red. If I smear that in, as you can see, that gives our eye it gives it a little color, makes it round, looks a little round now. A little darker down at the bottom, lighter at the top. And then we're going to do the pupil. We're going to let that dry a little bit, and then we're going to put the black in for the pupil. Now, we can start doing, put that down, we can start doing the wings. So I've got my black crayon. I'm just going to go around the wing. I'm not going to do all the areas, I'm just putting lines here and there because I'm going to use black, gray. I'm also going to use a little green. I want it nice and black around this area. I want that to really stick out. Put some right here, right around the belly, because this belly, the top part of the belly is going to be lighter because of that highlight. This is light, and then it'll be darker here. So here on the wing, I'm going to have this part that's close to the belly dark. That's going to give us a nice contrast. We want to have that contrast between lights and darks. When you have that contrast, then you really see things stick out more. They start to pop. And I'll put a little bit, not as much, I'll put a little on the edge here. Now I'm going to put a little brown. I'll put a little brown in with it. Because like I said, if you look at the wings, look at the feathering of turkey vultures, they have browns in them and they have greens. And I'm going to put that green in. I just love seeing that nice iridescent green. And this green, actually, I might put a lighter green. Let me get one of my lighter greens. Here we go. That's a nice green. That's looks good. And I'm going to blend this green in with my black. As you guys can see, as I'm blending, and it even before I use the baby oil, you can see if you press your crayon into another crayon, those colors get picked up. So I'm getting some green already blending in with my black, and I'm going to put a little more brown in it. I want to get some of that brown, and just streaks of it. I want streaks. I want streaks of green, brown, and black. In that wing. Now, that looks pretty nice as it is, and we're going to get another Q-tip, and I'm going to blend that in, just a little bit of my oil. Let's see what happens. We take that, we blend those colors together. A little more oil. Here we go. Like I said, it gives you that nice sort of watercolory look to things. And then you can go back over and bring in some more. I want to put some more brown in there. Maybe a little more black. Now sometimes I need to use my pencil. So I'm using my Prismacolor pencil, just going over a few of those spots. And I'll use my green. I like that brown and green together. Maybe a little darker brown. There we go. We can even put some of that brown right up here in the head. And don't be worried if you get little bumps of it, because turkey vultures actually sort of have some of these bumpy lines, so that looks great with them, to tell you the truth. Put a little more underneath the eye. I want that to look like that's shadowed. Right in here. Right there. I want that darker. Just doing this with my brown color pencil. And then right here, I want a little brown just to give us that contrast, that light and dark contrast. A little bit underneath the neck for shadow. Look how those crayons and color pencil work together so well. Put a little bit some more in here. Right down in here. Try to keep your hand off the color pencil. You don't want to get it all over your hand and smear your picture. So I always try to keep my hand up a little bit. And then take a paper towel. I'm going to get a clean paper towel. and then just brush off some of that extra. Be careful, because if you get some on, it can actually smear your picture, which is what I did right here. And that's okay. We're going to put a little bit of a blue in the background anyway. But I want to get that out. There we are. All right, let's get the rest of this body. Put my Q-tip down and go in here. We can get the wing, or the belly here around the wing. That way I'm trying to keep my hands off of the parts that are already crayoned in. And let's use our gray. Let's use some gray in there, in our belly here. Give us a couple of different colors. We're going to make this part back here darker, so I'm not going to put as much gray right there, because I'm going to put more black in there. And I'm going to put a little more gray here. And we want it to look rounded, so here again I'm taking my crayon and I'm going to take it in the direction of the roundness. Think of his belly right here as a big ball. So I'm taking this crayon and I'm making it go around the belly, and then I'm going to curve it this way. And I'm getting lighter, as you can see. As I get to the top, I push down less and less. I'm doing it softer and softer so I don't get as much, because I want it lighter up here and darker down here. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to do a little darker right here, because this is the underside of the round part, the top of his chest. So I'm going to make that a little darker. And then this is going to be rounded. Same thing. Rounding it out just like this. And it's darker down here. Want that part darker. And we're going to bring some of the black in there too. So I'll put that darker like that. Same right here. That part right here is going to be dark. And then this will all be lighter up here. There we go. Let's put some of our black in. So this down here is going to be a lot darker. Right around his wing. All this down here is going to be dark. Create that nice contrast between light and dark. And then less and less. A little bit underneath here. Then dark right along the wing. I want it dark right at the edge of the wing, because I want that nice contrast, make that wing look like it's really popping out. There we go. Remember, that light's coming this way. So always think about where your light's coming from. And where the highlights are going to be, the lighter parts of your objects, and the darker parts, the shadowed areas. We can even bring a little blue in here. Might be nice. Darker back here. And you can bring a little blue into the wing if you want. A little blue in with the brown. Give it a little nice color. A little bit here. Doesn't have to go everywhere. You can just, this can just sort of be a, yeah, it's a little bit of a nice color to throw in here and there. That looks pretty good. You can throw in a little purple just for fun. Just a little bit of the purple. All right, let's blend those together. Blend those together. Now get yourself another Q-tip. You might be using 4 or 5 Q-tips, so use one for each of the different colors so you don't mix too many together. And we'll start down here. We'll just sort of blend that in. Just blending those colors together. See how nice they blend in together? A little more baby oil on it. Blend that in. That nice purple right there. Push down a little harder. I want to make sure that stays light right in there. Smooth those colors in. If you need to come back, you can always bring some more color in. That looks pretty good like that. Let's do this top part. I'm going to bring a little darker right through here. I want to make sure that stays nice and dark. Just to accentuate the fact that this part sort of folds in. That looks good, just like that. Blend those colors in. There we go. Right around that wing. Alright, we're looking pretty good. I'm going to brush that out a little bit. Get that out of there. Brush. I'm going to put that Q-tip down and let's do this other wing here. Now I'm going to put the black underneath these, but I don't want to go all the way over because remember, we want this to stick out. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put a little more of my pencil right here so that we see where the lines are. Put a little darker back here, and I'm going in the line of my feathers, giving it so if you see those lines, it sort of gives you the idea that it's the fuzzed up feathers. So I'm going to go back over those before I get into the other color. And you can see I'm just taking my pencil and just putting some lines in. giving us the idea of where the feathers are and the darks and the lights. And up here, I can even put in some feathering. Put some feathers sticking up like that. And just sort of squiggling them around because he's a happy messy bird. This guy right here. And this is all, once again, this is just experimenting, just playing around with this. Never done this before, and this is sort of fun. Put a couple feathers up in here. Don't want it completely smooth. I want to get the impression that those, now he's got feathers. Fuzziness to that body. That sort of gives that purple, that nice iridescent look right there. Alright, I like that. We'll come back over the beak area to get a little darkness in there as well. Okay, so let's go back over these. I'll put my pencil down and I'm just going at the edges because the light's going to be coming here, so this part's going to have a little bit of a shadow to it. And you can even put some lines in for the feathers. Lines like that. If you need to, you can sharpen your crayon. My crayon thing came with a cool sharpener. Oh yeah. So I'll sharpen my crayon a little bit. And you might have to, once you start to sharpen, you have to pull away your paper. And I got a little sharper. Put my lines in just like that so I can see the feathering lines. Some streaking here. There we go. Nice streaks of that. Make sure the pencil streaks and not the streaks of the 70s. You guys have no idea what that means because you're not old like me. Boy, I'll tell you what, it's fun. This is fun working with these crayons. I love these crayons. This is such a neat new technique that I just saw online. Somebody was talking about painting with crayons, and I thought, I want to try that. Underneath its wing is going to be a lot darker right here. We'll have this really dark. Right there. That's going to make that nice and pop. There we go. So we can put in, now we'll put in a little bit of our green. Let's put some of our green in because we want that green to show right here. We want that green to sort of be the highlight. The light's shining down and it's going to give that iridescent green look. Shine to our guy. And then we'll put some brown in the darker areas to accent that green. Here we go. We can even do that down here. Let's finish up our wing down below. I'm just going to put little bits of black and then a little green right through here. Now, go over a little darker. We'll make sure that green doesn't get lost. Now let's put in our brown. I'm just putting it here and there, thinking about where the shadows are going to be so it's darker on the edges. And you might want to use different colors, and that's great. You can make your vulture however you want. Some people might want to just use black and red. I like to use lots of colors. There's so much color in the world. We are so blessed with a beautiful planet with just amazing colors and textures and things to see. And I like that. Let's put a little more black in. I want to really make sure that you can see that those are the feathers. So a little more black. And then I can put a little more in with my pencil if I want, which I probably will. So let's get our crayon, or our blending pencil, or try it again, Q-tip. Put a little bit on, just a little on the tip. Rub off the rest of it if you need to. And we'll start blending that in. I'm just going to blend the blacks first. Blacks and browns. I'm not going to go into the green. I think I'm actually going to save the green part for a different blend it. I'm going to blend it with a different Q-tip. I'm going to get a different one so that I don't mix too much of my black into my green, because I really want to be able to see that green. I don't want to lose the green. So you might want to use a different Q-tip to blend your green. So I'm just going to blend these dark colors in first. There we go. And you can even make things a little fuzzy on the edges. We might do that at the end, the little fuzzy with the blue sky. So I'm going to get a different one, and I'm going to blend in, and I want to make sure that green sticks out. I want to put a little more of this pencil in as well. This is a lighter green. And so you might have some color pencils that you want to use with your crayon. And I'm just putting a little zigzagging of that in. That's nice. That looks good. I like that. Now I'm going to dip that, blot out a little bit, and I'm just going to go into my green areas. I don't want to go into the black. Just want to try to stay in those green areas and keep that green. Don't want to lose the green. I don't want the green to get too muddied up. You'll get a little bit of black in it, and maybe a little bit of brown, and that's just fine. You just don't want to lose all your green. And if you have to, you can even exchange your Q-tip. You can splurge and use another Q-tip. Not too expensive, huh? I'm going to flip it over to the other side of my Q-tip and get the bottom down here. Then I can go in and blend them all in a little bit more. That looks pretty good. I'll go back over with my colored pencil. I'm just putting in some lines just to give us the idea that these are feathers, just giving a little texture to them. And I'm not even making them exact. I'm just sort of squidging them. Giving a little squidgies. This is a squidgy, in case you're like, what's a squidgy? Going like this. Ziggy, 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 ziggy. Sort of funny to even say. Here we go. Ziggy, 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 ziggy. I have to work on my ziggy, ziggies. Blend that in. There we are. That looks pretty good. A little bit down here. I like that. Can brush out some of my crayon. Get some of that crayon off there. Just real light. That's why it's nice to have a little brush and just sort of blow it a little bit so you don't smear it too much on your picture. Alright, we're coming along. See how we're working from the top? That way we never have to put our hands into the wet and smear it around. You don't want to smear. You don't want to smear. You can come back, go through if you see some spots where you want to get a little darker, and you can even put a little highlights in too. We can take this white. If I'm like, oh, I want to put a little bit more light, I can come through and put little lines of light coming through. See how that works on just lights, and just gives it a little light, a little bit of light. Put a little right down here, just so you can see the end of that, of its feathers. A little up here. You can put some up on top. Oop, I should have cleaned it off a little bit, and that's okay. I can smear that in. Can smear that in a different way. Clean off. Sometimes you need to clean off your white pencil. I just found that out. And so we're going to clean that off just a little bit up there. And I'm going to blend it in a little more too. Blend it in like that. A little bit down there. Little around, and now I want to make sure this stays light right through here, because that is showing the highlights of that beautiful little schnozola he has here. We can put bits of brown up in here. We'll sort of fleck this in. Just flick it in a little bit. There we are. And brush that out. Alright, let's do this bottom area. Let's do those legs. I gotta clean off my pencil. Now we're going to make these legs pretty much the same way we did with the top. We're going to put a little yellow in. And I can put some of this down, but we're going to put a little bit of our yellow in. And I think I'm going to put a little yellow back up here too. I want to warm this up just a little bit. Yellow's a nice warming color. Blend that in a bit. Little yellow up here on the top. Yeah. Just sort of complements our picture a little bit. Nice little yellows. Looks good. Alright, now we're going to start with down here at the bottom. We want more yellow on this side because this is going to be the highlight side, and the other side is going to be darker. A little bit there, highlights here. Get those talons. Okay, now we'll put in a little bit of the pink into the yellow. This is my lighter pink, so I can put that over with the yellow. It's not going to affect my yellow too much. Just going to soften it a little bit, just on that side. And then we'll put in our darker pink. So I'm working from light to dark, sort of like you do with watercolor. There you go. Put that in there. A little pink on this side. Remember, this is the shadowed side, so you want that a little darker. And you might need to press down harder. Make sure you get that nice pink in. I'm coming back through, pressing down a little bit. Press that in. There we go. And now we'll just put in some of our darker, just in a few spots. Even put it all the way over to show those are lines. Those little ridges in the bird's feet. I'm just sort of squiggling it around, but I want to keep that roundness. See how I'm going? Like I said, we're rounding, we're making this look like it's three-dimensional, so I want my lines to be rounded out a bit. All right, now we can smear that, so we'll get the one that we used our red with. I'll take a little bit. Blow that. Oh, you know what? Let's put some of that maroon in too, right at the edges. That maroon's nice and dark. That'll give us some really nice contrast. Just little bits of it. Don't have to do a lot. You're just creating a contrast. Put that down. Let's rub that in a little bit. You'll find some colors, I'm actually finding this, some colors smear a little easier and stay on, and some colors rub off a little more. And I'm thinking the reds sort of don't stay on as well, the reds and the maroons and stuff, but they're coming on pretty good. I can go back over and put a little more in if I need to, which I'm sure I will. There we go. And just like that, we've got our feet. I'm just going to go over this area here, make sure that's nice and dark so you can see that's the edge of where the feet are. Same thing on this side. Crayon might be one of my new choices. I'm liking that crayon. And now I'll probably go back over that just to cover later. Now actually, I'm looking, this is the wing, the underside of that wing that we didn't put in. So I'm going to put that wing in right there. A little bit of my green. And the green in my pencil. And I can actually blend some of that in. Let's bring a little more black. We want that to stick out, that we definitely are looking at the wing there. Okay. All right, our vulture is coming along. Now let's get that tail. Let's drop our crayons. And I'm going to put, actually don't need my pinks and reds right now, so I can put those down in my yellow. We're going to make this tail. He's got a little gray. It's going to be a little darker back here because it's in the shadow. And watch your leaves. We'll do those leaves last. I'm going to put this in. Right around my leaves. A little bit there. Now we're going to put in our black. And I'm going to press down really hard right through here because this area is going to be a lot darker. Put that down here so you can see it better. And I want to see those lines. Go around your leaves. Be real careful. You don't want to cover your leaves. And we can put some of our blue back in here. That blue looks really nice in there. Especially in this dark area. Not so much in the gray down below. We want to keep that fairly light. Put it in more up here. A little bit of the brown. I'm not going to do the green back on the tail. We want that really to be for the wing feathers, so maybe just a little bit of the brown. And maybe a little more gray down here. Darken this part. And then I'm going to use my color crayon as this one, Crayola crayon. This is Purple Mountain's Majesty. Ah, I like that. It is sort of a Purple Mountain Majesty. Actually, if you look at the mountains towards the back, they do take on this purpley color. That's a great name for this. And you can blend whatever colors you want. Boy, that purple that is a Majesty color. I like that. I like that a lot. Bring some down into there. Boy, that might be one of my favorite colors in there, that purple. Now let's blend those together. I'm going to use a different side. Dab my baby oil out. Don't want too much of it on here. I'm not going to push down hard. I want to keep that black in there. Carefully going around my talons. I don't want to get the talons lost. You might have to take your time, be real slow around those talons. And right at the edges. Now I can blend that in. I'm pushing a little harder because I want to keep this light, so I don't want to saturate it with the colors. I want to keep that light sort of. Creates its own highlights just by doing it that way. I might have to come back and bring some of my browns and stuff back in. I think I will. Let me brush this away. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go back and just bring in a little more black, just where I lost some. But I want to keep that Purple Mountain Majesty color in there. And go right around these talons a little more. I want those to stick out. That looks pretty good. I like that. Alright, let's do the green. Let's do the green leaves. And you can put one part of your leaf. Now remember, the sun's shining this way, so this side of the leaf, if it's curved, is going to be lighter than this side. This side will be darker, and we'll put this color in. And this side might be a little darker, right here. And this side looks like it's going to be darker. And this side, right in this area, is going to be darker. And then this one's going to be dark right down there, right through here. There we go. So I can use my darker green for some of that shadow a little more. And I want a different green. Let's try, let's see. I want one that's not as blue. How about that? That's not bad. It's got a little more blue. Here we go. Just adding a little splash in here. We don't want these to really detract from our turkey vulture. Put more of that green in. And here again we can put some of that yellow in the side that is more light. So this side might be a little brighter, and right around the edges. This side will be brighter, right here around the edges. Right around the edges here, and this side's brighter. That looks pretty good. Can even add a little brown in there. Use a little brown color and maybe a little more green. Let's do a little more green. I'm going to push down hard on that. One thing you can do to make sure you don't get any paint on you is you can take another piece of paper, lay it down right over top if you need to put your hand down. I'm going to keep my hand up because I don't have another piece of paper here. But that's one thing. You can lay a sheet down and then rest your hand, and you can put some of your color on and it won't smear or get on your hand. That's a good idea, Chris. There we go. And we can put a little, might as well do our greens over here too. I'll put in a little bit of my green. This part's darker right here. This one has a lot of dark. That has just a little bit spots here and there. And then our leaves right here, and this side is more the dark one. And this side has more of the shadow. This side will have more of the light. And then this one back here is pretty much shadowed. Anyway, almost there. Put a little green there, and we're going to put more of the yellow on that lighter side. A little of the green, and put some yellow on the back there. Okay, we can put our yellow in. Go up here, just put little spots of yellow right around the edges, just sort of to blend those colors in. Right up through there. And then my dark green, sort of that bluish green color in there, just to give us our dark, so we know that's our dark side. That's our dark side. You can even add, you can even add some of that purple. I might do that. I might add some of our Purple Mountain Majesty color in there, just a little bit, just on the dark side. Give it that shadow. That's a really neat color. Put some in here. Just flecks of it, just little flecks of it here and there. Okay, let's shimmy greens. Blow those away. Ooh, that's coming out neat. I like how the greens and the yellows work together. Looks nice. And you can always go back over if you want to add more colors. You can use your colored pencils, whatever you want to do. But I think those look really nice. And let's do our brown. Let's do our tree. Now trees are not always brown. We're going to make a little more of a brown here. And here again, I'm going to go in the lines of my tree. But trees, if you really look at trees, look at the colors. You know, we learn, oh, a tree's brown and leaves are green and this. But if you look at colors, trees aren't always brown. Trees have a lot of gray, and we're going to add some gray into this tree. But look, when you're outside, and that's the neat thing about art in nature. Really, you know, so much of this isn't just learning to draw, but experimenting and really observing. A lot of art in nature is I love it because it's observing. You get to slow down and spend your time observing what you see. And you know, like I said, we have this beautiful planet, and we should really take time to look at what we've been given, the gift we've been given. And it is a gift. We are very fortunate, and along with that gift comes a responsibility, and that is to take care of our gift. We really need to do that. We have a wonderful planet that we need to take care of. Let's put some darker color. What color is this? Shadow Sombra. Nice. Shadow. That is a nice shadowy color. There we go. And then we're going to put some gray in here. So like I said, really look at the trees. My kitty cat has just taken away Wednesday, our cat. Wednesday is coming up to play, so she has just taken away a couple of my paper towels. Thanks for that, Wednesday. She's like, no Benjamin. Bring this in sombra. Bring the shadow in. Alright, now let's put a little gray in here. Like I said, trees have that gray to them. A lot of trees. Some trees have sort of a yellowy color to them. Some trees are really gray. There we go. And we'll add just a little bit of a dark gray. Let me find a dark gray. I have lots and lots of colors in here, and I don't know if that's a dark enough gray. Let's see what happens here. Let me add a little bit of that. Let's take our black. I can put our black in here. Just a little bit down here. Just little bits. I'm not pushing down hard. I don't want to go all the way to the end, because you actually have a little shadow underneath, or a highlight, a little light that shines and bounces back, which gives you a little reflection. So you don't have to have those colors come all the way over. Go, and we'll bring some right down here. That looks pretty good. Maybe go back with one more brownish. Let's do a lighter one up here. Just hints of it. If you look at sycamores even have green. Sycamore trees have whites and grays and greens to their bark. They're just beautiful. My favorite tree. Alright, different Q-tip to blend. We're going to blend that brown together. Blend that in. That blends in pretty neat. And you don't have to blend the whole thing. You could leave spots with the little white highlights. You don't have to. You can leave whites of the paper. Because think about how rough bark is and how bark has dark and light spots. So maybe you don't put it all in. I'm going to blend it out, sort of bring it out a little bit. And up here at the top, I want to rub that in because I want it lighter up there. I might even bring in some white in those spots. That tree looks pretty good. Let's do a little bit of I'm going to take a little bit of my brown pencil here, bring some in, just little bits here and there. You can go the other direction too, because if you look at the bark of the tree, your lines might go in different directions to create that bark. But we're going to keep it simple. We're not going to go too crazy. Although some people are probably like, already, too late. And I'll put in some of my lines. I'm going to clean that off so I don't have too much crayon on there. And I'm going to put some lines in where my leaves are. My leaf lines. Can even take some of my brown, put it in for going back into those shadowed areas. And I'm just zigzagging it, just zigzagging around. There we go. Looks pretty good. The last thing we're going to do is just put a little bit of blue around our bird. And I'm going to take, I think I'm going to use this blue. I like this blue. This is a nice blue. And you can even put some, zigzag it around so we can make some clouds in this area. So I'm going to put some blue in here. Now the blue, if you look at the sky, the higher up you go, the darker the blue gets. So I'm going to add another color of blue up to the sky area. But right here, I think I'm going to put a cloud right there. I'm going to put a little bit of a cloud. And then I'll make the blue lighter right through there. And I could do a little bit of a cloud right here. We'll make a nice big cumulus, big puffy cloud. I'm not going to put lots of detail to the cloud, but I just want to give the impression, yep, there's a cloud there. And as I go down, be a little darker. And I'm not going to go all the way. I'm just going to go around my bird because he's really the central focus here. I can even take some of that cloud. I'm going to bring that cloud over here so that the cloud's not touching our bird because I don't want to distract from our bird. So I can bring that cloud down here, make it go over that line. Yeah, I like that. That way everything focuses on the bird. We want our focus to be on our bird. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to take those clouds out, period, because that's too much. Sometimes you look at something and you say, you know what, too much. So we're just going to put a little bit here. And you don't even have to go all the way around. You can put just little splashes of colors here and there. I'm going to put some in between the leaves. Leave some down here. It's going to be a little lighter here because remember I told you a little lighter as you go down, darker as we're up. Put a little bit down here. Maybe some color right here. A little bit there. That looks good. Darker at the top, so I'm going to push down harder. I don't want to lean my hand on the picture. I don't want to smear the picture. Bring some of that up into the cloud, or up into where the birds are, and then just sort of fade it out. You want to keep it dark in this. You want to show that it's darker. And then fade it out because your focal point is your bird. Focal points are Vulture. And here I'm just putting some color, and I'm not worried about the lines. I'm just sort of streaking it around just because I want the blue to make my bird pop out. A little bit around his back right through here. Little under here, just little spots here and there. There you go, looks pretty good. Just about like that. Maybe a little bit down here. There you go. And if you want, you can lighten that a little bit. Where's my green or my white crayon? I'm going to take this, smear that just a little bit. Just little spots here and there. I'm just putting a little white. And I'm going to put a little bit of a darker blue. This looks like a nice blue. Just little bits here and there. That sort of subdues that brighter blue we have. And you can, there again, like I said, whatever colors, if you want to make your sky, you might want to make your sky more of a sunset. Maybe sitting down at the end of the night. Or you could do a brighter blue if you want, or a darker blue, or maybe you have a rainbow behind him, who knows. Just have fun. Now, this is a pretty big area to smear with your Q-tip. So you might want to use, instead of smearing with a Q-tip, you might want to do the Q-tip around the edges. You might want to do a Q-tip around the edges and then use a paper towel to do the rest of it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a Q-tip just around the edges. Just a Q-tip just around those edges. Although actually it smears pretty fast. Maybe I won't even bother. But you could, if you wanted, use a paper towel. And we might use a paper towel if we want to blot out some, take out some of the blue. Or maybe smear the edges of it and take it out a little more. So I'm going to do this right around him. And then I'll do the paper towel right around the edges. And if you need to, if it's taken too long, you can always work on the picture and come back to it later. You don't have to finish it all at once. I do, because I'm showing you what I'm doing. You don't. How cool is that? You have options. Options are always fun. You actually don't even, I don't think we're even going to smear the edges as much. I think I might bring the paper towel because I told you I would, but you could also just leave some of that crayon just the way it is, as it looks pretty neat out there. If you start to get black or anything on your Q-tip though, make sure you get a different Q-tip, because you don't want all that black to smear out your blue. And just go around it wherever you want and get those colors in. I'm putting a little more baby oil on this one, so to really smear that blue around. And you can see, even without having crayon around it, it brings it out. A little bit right down in here. A little more over on this end. And I'm going to rub some of that baby oil. I'm not worried about using little bits now. I'm putting more on. I'm going to rub some of it in with my paper towel. Okay. Now, if I want to lighten some of that, I'm going to take my paper towel, wrap it around my finger a little bit. Try that again. Wrap it around my finger. I'm going to dip it in, and then I can rub my paper towel in, and you can see it'll even take a little more off. I don't want to take too much off because I really like sort of that crayon-y look around those edges. But you can see how it really gives you that nice effect. I'll put some right up in there. That rubs it in pretty nice. And you can go in circular motions to smooth out lines if you don't want all the lines. I like the lines in there, but you can experiment however. Like I said, this is new for me as well, so you can experiment with it. Maybe put a little more, a little bit here and there. And now all we have to do is go over that beak area, sharpen my pencil, go over his beak area just a little bit, those lines that we lost. Make sure those eyes really stick out. The lines underneath them. The bottom line. Can put some. There we go, that looks pretty good, just like that. And then all you have to do is just go over, look and see some areas you might need to put in a little more. I'm not going to put the lines in everywhere, I just want them in some of these areas so you really see the animal, the vulture. He's the star of the show here. Along the lines, can do his talons here. Throw in a little shadow underneath his leg. Maybe take that down just a little lower. There we go. You know, just coming in and fixing areas that look like they could use it. This area right here would actually be a little shadowed because of the light coming in off of him, and I can put a little bit of lines here. Those little squiggles just add a little texture to his talon, so I'm not worried about how they look so much, because it just gives a little texture to it. That's what we want. Can have things loose right around those edges. Don't even need clean lines. See how I'm loosening? I'm going back and I'm sort of loosening up around him. He's sort of a messy guy, so I'm gonna just sort of make some lines around him. Here we go. Throw a little bit on the leaves. On the tree here and there. We can even put some little sort of zigzaggy little feathery line looks. A couple up on his head here, maybe a few there. Give him that scraggly look. Throw some around to the edges here. I like that. Alright guys, what is the last thing we need to do? We're going to put a couple little lines around the... We need to sign our picture. Always sign your picture. Always, always, always sign your picture. Be proud. You worked really hard on these. So I'm going to sign them right here. Sharpen my pencil a little bit, and we'll put that. There we go. And we have our picture. I hope you guys had a great time. I sure did, working on this with you. And as you can see, you never really finish. You always see stuff. You have to finally say, all right, enough's enough. I gotta move on to some other things. So, hope you enjoyed us in art and nature. Join me for some more pictures we'll do later. Thanks a lot. There we go. Put a couple more feathers over here. We'll put some feathers sticking up here. Now we're almost done. There we are. I think that looks pretty cool. Where'd we put our... There we go. Ta-da! I'm actually going to lighten. I don't like my name sticking out that much. There we go. We'll bring a little blue down through here. Oh gosh, smear my name out. A little darker up here. Oh, yeah, we didn't do our turkey vultures up there. I'm just putting in just a little more, needed more of a purpley color back through here to really highlight that nice pinkish color, pinkish red of the face. There we go. We won't put any down here because it's darker at top. So. That's nice. Ooh, I like that. Alright, now all we have to do is take our pencil and we'll just go over real lightly our vultures that are back here. We need them to stick out a little bit, just like that. We can put one more right there. Maybe one flying here. All right, now we're done. I'm walking away.